NBC News, tear gas used on protesters at Chicago area ICE site as immigration crackdown escalates. Federal officers in camouflage and riot gear clashed as demonstrators blocked vehicles in protest of Trump's expanding enforcement sweep. Well, I do believe we have video. Wait, where did I put that video?
Get the spicy smoke.
Where's that video we have? I don't know where. Oh, here it is. Here it is. It's in the back for some reason. Whoop. Here you go. Here's Kat Ebugazela getting shoved. And then she slips. Oh. Shame. So I got a question about this, right? Why do we tolerate a bunch of people screaming and blocking and obstructing law enforcement?
That guy didn't.
I know, but like, there's a video of a guy like shaking his butt.
Yeah,
and the cops being like, shoot me. And I'm like, why don't you just arrest them all? Honest question. I understand peaceable assembly. And the idea there would be these people would be outside of the facility holding signs, chanting, not confronting and fighting with cops to where the cops need to be armed. The moment they step up and start physically obstructing, it's a riot, arrest them.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Impeding federal law enforcement is absolutely a crime. And I think the administration's trying to be pretty, even-handed with this. But I think there were some politicians up in, like, what was it, Boston, who were arrested. So they are making some arrests. I want to point out that Kat here is running for Congress. So she thinks it's a good idea to be seen impeding federal law enforcement. And that really just shows where the left is at this point. They haven't mellowed out, not at all. The mayor of, what was it, Evanston? I forget the guy's name, but he was seen on camera wearing a mask, blocking an ICE vehicle with the crowd. So the Democrats, it's not that they just believe in this. They think that this is good. They think that this is what their base wants. And if you're running for Congress in, what is it, Illinois? Then that probably is what the Democrats want there.
I mean, this kind of behavior does get clicks, and it gets young people on Instagram excited, and it gets young people to possibly even donate, but it doesn't get young people to the polls.
Yeah,
young people don't effing vote. And I mean, personally, I think that I don't want to say that I wish that it weren't true, but I think that it's a reality that people should acknowledge. Like, no matter how many people are on your Instagram Live, no matter how many people are watching your reels, no matter how many people click on your video of you getting manhandled by the police and tell you you're the best and how brave you are and give you all kinds of affirmations, that doesn't translate into getting kids to the polls.
I have a question for where this all goes with this Kat Ebugazela. If you go online and start espousing political beliefs that are favorable to a foreign nation, like let's say you make a channel that's just all about Japanese politics, and you're sitting there and you're screaming and you're yelling and konnichiwa or whatever, and Japanese people are watching your show and you're making millions of dollars. Then in America, with the millions of dollars you make, you announce you're running for Congress. And you use all that money to win your congressional race and then start basically lobbying on behalf of Japan. And do we have an answer for when this happens? Because I feel like this is what we're seeing right now, actually. There are people who go on social media, they build a big following, but the following is going to be a lot of foreign individuals who have interests in the certain ideas they may be pushing. Then they're going to start running for office. And they're going to have a monetary base, not when they're running for office, because at that point you cut it off, but I think the story was that Hillary Clinton gave us, before she announced she was running for office, she gave a speech to Goldman Sachs for like $250,000. And everyone's like, we get it. Okay. That's a campaign contribution so long as it's a speaker fee.
Right.
Nobody, like, you can't legally do anything about it. What are we going to do when people build big followings of foreign, individuals? I'm not saying it's illicit. I'm saying somebody literally is like, I'm very much interested in the politics of the Middle East. They build up a big following of Middle Eastern individuals. They have 1 million, 2 million followers. They start posting sponsorships and ads. They start making money off that. They make themselves millionaires. And then they say, I'm going to finance my own campaign with my money and win. But their interest is lobbying for a foreign country.
Yeah, it's a problem because I think most people would agree that that's like definitely an ethically questionable at the very least. But you're right that if done in that way, in that order, it wouldn't necessarily violate any, campaign finance laws.
But our country's cooked.
Yeah, and the internet grows more third world every day. And, we're seeing this play out with a lot of different narratives and sort of movements. And And you're right. I hadn't actually considered that angle, but yeah, I would imagine we're going to feel the direct political ramifications of that more and more in the coming decades.
Well, I bring this up because Kat Abu Ghazala, I believe she is Palestinian.
I believe so.
Yeah, like I think her dad is Palestinian. So she has a foreign interest. And fair point, I know everyone's going to bring it up, Israel, 100%. I'm not counting that out. There are people who have dual citizenships or other loyalties, and they will build up a base from people in foreign countries that will finance or fund them. Then later on, when they run for office, and to be fair, we can even exclude the run for office part. We are going to have prominent individuals lobbying on behalf of foreign countries in this country because their audience is going to be composed of people from foreign countries. I think it's already happening.
It's already happening 100%.
And the H-1B thing, I think especially. And that's why many of us have been saying, Elon needs to create a way to region lock so that we do not see views, comments, retweets, or posts from countries we don't want to. So like, let's say someone posts a tweet where they're like, what's a good country that's obscure and no one cares about? I don't know. I'm not going to, no matter what I say, someone's going to have some problem with it. So they say some slogan for some country and they get 1 million views on it. Some kid, 15-year-old, logs in and sees 1 million views on this post and thinks it's American views.
Right.
And they don't realize it's a bunch of like Eritreans cheering, woo.
Yeah.
And so they start replicating that content to pander to a foreign country in the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, you're seeing like, the very small scale version, like with Ilhan Omar, where she basically has like an ethnic enclave behind her, ensuring election after election. And you see the way she's behaved just with that. I mean, she's still accountable to a large degree to the rest of the country. She is in the House of Representatives, but ultimately she's accountable to her district, and she rewards them. She advocates and lobbies for Somali interests in Congress. And so
Exactly.
And she openly
and she
does
says
it,
it.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, she's like literally will say it in Somali, and you're sitting here like, something's not adding up here.
Yeah, she's basically a representative from Somalia to the United States.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that kind of stuff, I don't know what the solution is, how to prevent that, but that's something that should not happen. Like, we should not have a person in Congress that's essentially representing another country, whether it doesn't matter if it's Somalia or any other country. Like, they should not be representing a foreign nation.
Well, and it's like the thing with Elon, it's like, okay, there's this push now to get her denaturalized and deported, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that'd be great. That would be a solution. But the problem is you're gonna have more and more people like her who actually are like, we're born here and everything passes, everything, everything's above the board. She wasn't, but I'm saying is like, okay, you get her out, you're gonna have the same problem because they're just gonna elect another Somali, and this guy might have been born there. So
you know what? I think that's a reality. I think let's start here. Someone's going to lobby on behalf of foreign interests. It's going to happen. And obviously Israel is a really great example. Our members of Congress go over there all the time. There's too
Dual
much
citizens.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of dual citizens, people that are citizens of Israel and citizens of the U.S., and they're in Congress,
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be the case. And so that, yes, Ilhan Omar, let's start here. She's not from here. She emigrated here, and okay, that's fine. Did she commit fraud?
Right.
Okay, and if the answer is yes, then we denaturalize and deport. I don't care if she won an election or otherwise, and that's true for anybody for any country.
Sure.
I'm just saying, like, even if we get that done, it's like, that's great, and I agree that should be done. It's like, you're going to kick the can. Like, we have to address why there's so many Somalis in Minneapolis, because all they're going to do is just elect another Ilhan Omar, and this time they'll like make sure she didn't marry her brother this time. So it's like, at a certain point, same thing with Zoran, like same thing with Rashida Tlaib. You have to ask, why are there so many people in these districts or in these cities that are voting purely on ethnic interests?
Yeah.
So,
well, we brought in, many millions of people from all around the world that, believe it or not, don't buy into kind of Anglo-liberal individualism. And it's just an incredibly, tribalism is the norm outside of the West, and even just more specifically the Anglosphere. So when you bring people over in small amounts, they generally will assimilate. When you bring people over in large amounts, they're less likely to assimilate. And when you consider what immigrants are assimilating to now, it could be Black Lives Matter and liberalism just generally.
I'm getting 1 second. I have a correction. I'm getting a text here. They're asking me to say, it is completely okay that we have members of Congress that travel to Israel and pledge support for Israel. Thank you and have a nice day.
Man, that's weird. A lot didn't text me.
I don't kidding. I don't care what country it is.
A bunch of people in Pakistan watching the stream just got very mad. So they're calling you Jewish on Twitter.
They do.
Yeah.
Oh,
I get it too. Yeah. Even on tweets that have nothing to do with Israel, I'm just like, I want less immigration, and someone's like Jew, and I look at their like location, like Bangladesh or something, and it's like, really? All right.
Yeah.
I guess that's what being Jewish is.
I think, it's really funny, too, because Netanyahu issued a statement about how he did not kill Charlie Kirk. And this is like the weirdest timeline we're in.
Yeah.
And he said that, I think he accused Qatar. Is that who he accused? He said foreign nations are funding all this stuff.
The influence narratives, not the actual assassination.
No, yeah, the narratives.
Yeah.
Like, I think
I'm sure he did, and I'm sure Qatar has some level of online influence.
Everyone does.
Yeah, that's definitely the most realistic take on it.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild how Nick Fuentes came out as the voice of reason, saying like, "Guys, come on! Like, Israel didn't kill him."
I never thought "it wasn't Israel" would be a sentence that I heard come out of Nick Fuentes' mouth. But I mean, look, it does actually. Look, there are people that are already saying Nick got the call. That's BS. But like, it does actually add to his credit, like gives him a modicum of credibility, because you're like, all right, well, then this makes me believe that even if I disagree with him about his takes about Israel, he's honest about them. He really does believe these things, because he's saying this particular case I don't think is Israel. So like, if he were just a grifter that was grifting off of anti-Israel sentiment, because there's a lot of people globally that are really anti-Israel, and you can make a lot of money and get a lot of followers by being anti-Israel. And if he was actually just a grifter and didn't actually at least believe the things that he said, why wouldn't he say, well, of course Israel was going after Charlie Kirk? Well, of course, it would probably satisfy a large portion of his less attached to reality followers,
So you guys know how I met with Netanyahu earlier this year, a few months ago.
Yeah.
And it was Chatham House rules, meaning we're not supposed to reveal anybody who was there. Nick Fuentes was there. That was a joke. Anyway, moving on. Unfortunately, now there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to be like, that proves it! And they're going to start tweeting at him, and they're going to say he got the call, and Tim Pool claimed he was there. And I'm like, I'm literally joking. Nick was not there. Yeah.
Tim Pool outflanks everyone on the Israel issue.
I really do think that, a lot of people will frame all of it as like influence operations, manipulation. I think it's just real people. There are real people that live in other countries that watch content.
Yeah.
There's like I watch content from a bunch of foreign people. They skateboard. There's a lot of Japanese content in skateboarding. So I'm watching a bunch of stuff on Instagram from Japanese people about Japan. And I'm like, look at that, whatever. And people in Japan have interest in the things we do here. So for politics, especially considering the United States is basically the top of the mountain, they're going to be watching all this political commentary. And English is the business language of the world. So a lot of these people speak to a certain degree English, or will use translators. And now with like X, it's auto-translating. So you're going to get people from all over the world commenting, tweeting. We got to be able to block that. I want to be able to go on X and be like, I only want to see America. To be completely honest, I'd say Canada, the U.S., Mexico, and maybe Europe.
I mean, honestly, not that I know anything about the back end at X, but I mean, it seems like it wouldn't be particularly difficult to just say, these are the, select the countries. Here's a list of countries that I care about. I want to see tweets from these regions.
Because there's never been I'm seeing a really intellectual discourse going on. I'm like, you know what does someone from Pakistan think about this? It's never occurred to me once in my life.
To be fair, I'm very concerned about what Malaysians think, but it's okay because I follow Ian Miles Chong.
Sure, he's on the case.
It just so happens that he reflects my opinion back at me quite often.
Fair enough.
Ian Miles Chong is very familiar with what America thinks and stuff, but I imagine he has no idea what Malaysia is.
I got to imagine he lives like a king in Malaysia.
Probably, yeah.
Because he's producing content for Americans. It's very smart.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. There's something that's like a net negative. It's a neutral thing. We don't want foreign individuals to realize they can produce content to pander to us and get advertiser dollars off of it. But he's saying the right things. You know what I mean? So I'm like, it's yeah, sometimes. What's the GDP of Malaysia?
Well, also, like,
45 cents.
no one's got to be more crushed than him that the America Party thing's not happening. 'Cause, dude,
I was gonna say, Ian Miles Chung is like generally on the right, but yeah, he sided with Elon's crash out that Elon himself has like
Walked back,
distanced himself from, to his credit. Yeah, credit where credit's due.
$13,000 is their GDP per capita.
oh, he's raking it in, yeah.
Bro, I mean, what is it like 70,000 in the United States or something like that?
Yeah, give or take.
68, I think. Let me check United States. United States GDP. Because if you're making good influencer money with hundreds of thousands of followers, it is 89,000. That's inflation for you,
Jeez.
bro. If you had $100,000 per year and you're living in Malaysia, you're 10 times.
You've got a compound, you've got a driver, you've got who knows
like
what
a
else.
king,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Maybe we should relocate IRL to the lower, to Malaysia,
It's not a bad
Singapore,
idea.
South Africa.
Singapore would be a lot.
Yeah,
South Africa, that'd be wild.
That'd be cheap.
Should have, like,
yeah.
walls
Maybe we'll get a
everywhere.
farm. You know.
Yeah. We'll sing some songs.
You know, we'll do. We'll basically live in a triple Faraday cage just for our own security.
Yeah. I always thought that, like, if Elon really wanted to, he could return to South Africa and just spend, like, a quarter of his net worth and just rule the country for, like, in perpetuity.
Just
I'm
like-
saying I like having him here to fight for us, but, like, he could do that whenever he wants.
The problem is it's too far away from the equator for launching into space.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he would have to like hire some PMCs to take some land or something. I don't know, but I don't know if you're listening. I mean, you could literally just become king, like, really whenever you want.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.